In this lecture, we will get ourselves familiar with the Scratch Editor environment. You can either open the online version of Scratch Editor by clicking Create on the Scratch official website, or you can just open the offline editor by finding Scratch icon on your computer and click it. If you are not using English, you can also change the language. Just click the Earth icon, then go down to choose the languages you like. For instance, if I change to Chinese, you notice that all the characters has been changed to Chinese. For now, we'll just change back to English. If you find that the characters are too small on your screen, you can also change the font size. Just press the Shift key and then click the Earth icon again. Choose the second choice, Set Font Size, and then choose any number you like. For instance, I can change 18. Now you see that the fonts are much bigger compared to before. Let's change it back. Press Shift and click the Earth icon and click Set Font Size. Let's change back to 12. Okay. Now let's take a close look at the Scratch editing environment. On the top left side is the stage. The stage is the place where all the sprites perform and talk to each other. Underneath the stage is the sprite list area. All the sprites that are used in the project will be listed here. Currently, we have the cat as the only sprite. Click the small eye on the top left of the sprite. Here you can find the name of the sprite. Now it's called Sprite 1, and its current location x0, y0, and also its direction. Here we can change the direction by rotating it. And also rotation style. The first one means that it can turn 360 degrees. The second means it can only turn to right or left. The third means that it cannot rotate at all. If we uncheck Show, we can hide the sprite on the stage, but it is still there, it's just hidden. This is important if you have many sprites on the stage and you want to hide some of the sprites. For now, let's just show it again. Click the arrow. Here, we can add a sprite through different methods. The first one is choose sprite from library. The second one is paint new sprite. Use the tool provided in the Scratch editor environment. The third one is upload a sprite from your local computer. Or you can use your computer camera to take a photo to be used as a sprite. Now let's demonstrate how to choose sprite from the library. Click the small character icon. Now we have just opened the sprite library. As we can see from the left side, the sprites can be categorized into different categories. For instance, animals, fantasy, letter, and so on. And according to theme, it can be categorized to castle, city, dance, and so on. And it can also be categorized into two types, bitmap and vector. The difference between bitmap and vector is that bitmap is based on pixel, which means that if we zoom in the bitmap, the image will become blurred or unclear. But for vector image, it is based on shape. So even if we zoom in it, it can still be very clear and sharp. Now let's try to choose a character. Scroll your mouse down. Oh, I like this flying cat. Let's just click on it and click OK. Now we have just added a flying cat to the sprite list, and it's also shown on the stage, but it's sitting on top of the original sprite. Let's move it away. To the left side of the sprite list is the backdrop area. Here, we can also add backdrop from library, or draw the backdrop by ourselves, or upload a backdrop from a local computer, or take a photo from a camera to be used as a backdrop. Now let's demonstrate how to choose a backdrop from the library. Click on the picture icon. Now we have just opened the backdrop library. It can also be categorized into indoors, outdoors, and others, and it can also be categorized according to different themes. Let's just click outdoor and scroll down. I found this to be very interesting, and water. Double click it. Now we have just added a backdrop. If you see from here, we actually have two backdrops, the original one and the new one. and we can delete it by clicking the cross icon. Let's delete the newly added backdrop. Let's click back to the sprite and click on script. The center of the stage is the block palette. This is where the code blocks are located. It has 10 categories of coding blocks, differentiated by different colors. From the blocks palette, we can drag out the code block and putting them together to form a sequence of a script. The right side is the script area. This is the place where all the scripts will run. Here we can choose to zoom out if we have too many scripts on the stage, or we can zoom in to see more details of the script. For now, let's just zoom it to normal. Here we have 3 tabs. The first one is script, the second one is costume. For each sprite, it may have multiple costumes or only one costume. If I click to the second one, it also has 2 costumes. The third tab is sounds. Here we can click to hear the sound, or you can record your voice for the character. Now let's look at the menu bar. Under the file, we have new to create a new project, open to open our existing project, or save our project. We can also record our project as a video or share it to the Scratch online community so that others can watch and comment on it. An editor, we have undelete, which is just used to undo what we have made wrong. And click small stage layout. You see that the stage becomes very small. This is helpful, for instance, if we need more space for the script area. Let's click it back. The turbo mode can be used to accelerate the running process of our script. This can be useful for some cases. For instance, if we want to run a script 1000 times, it may take a while to finish. Then we may need turbo mode. The tips area, we can find step-by-step guide and how-to guide and explanation of different blocks. Now let's look at the cursor tools. The first one is duplicate. First, click duplicate and click the character that you want to duplicate. Now you see that on the sprite list, there's another sprite called Sprite 2 added, but on the stage, you still see 2 sprites. That's because the newly added sprite is exactly on top of the original one. So we can drag it and move it to the left. Left click the character and then move it. Now you see that we have 3 sprites on the stage. The second tool is delete. Let's click the delete and then click the newly added sprite. We have just deleted the sprite. The third one is scroll. This can be used to make our character or sprite larger. If you feel the sprite is too large, then we can also shrink it. Use the shrink tool. Every time you click it, it becomes a little smaller. Sometimes you are not sure what a block can do. You can click this question mark, then click the block that you are in doubt. From the right side, you can find more explanation about this particular block. That's all for this lecture. In the next lecture, we will summarize what we have done in this section. See you then.